Ever wondered what it would be like if you went to your girlfriend's family's house and soon found out that they have a real dark secret that's really more darker and bloody and I don't know what have you than you could ever imagine? Well, you're about to find out as I review Jordan Peele's Get Out. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. Greetings, my fellow YouTubers. Welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Doyle, better known to as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 2017 psychological horror flick Get Out, released by Universal, written, co-produced, and directed by Jordan Peele in his directorial debut. Starring Daniel Kaluuya, Allison Williams, Lil Rel Howery, LaKeith Stanfield, Bradley Whitford, Caleb Landry Jones, Stephen Root, and Catherine Keener. The plot follows a young black man who uncovers shocking secrets when he meets the family of his white girlfriend. The film was released in February of 2017 after it premiered at the Sundance Festival a month before. This film was an unexpected big hit and what have you for Universal and got tons of good reviews and what have you. And became one of the most profitable films of 2017. Now, I've only seen the film twice, but it turned out to be a real shocking experience. But let's get to the story first. Chris Washington is a black photographer from Brooklyn, got tongue tied there, preparing for a weekend visit to upstate New York to meet the family of his white girlfriend, Rose Armitage. Hesitant, he asks Rose if her family knows about their interracial relationship, but she assures him that they are not racist. While there, Rose's brother Jeremy and their parents, neurosurgeon Dean and hypnotherapist Missy, make disconcerting comments about black people, and Chris witnesses strange behavior from the estate's black housekeeper Georgina and groundskeeper Walter. The night of their arrival, Missy pressures Chris into a hypnotherapy session to cure his smoking addiction. While in a trance, he confesses that his mother was killed in a hit and run when he was a child and that he feels responsible for her death as he waited too long to call for help. He then enters a void Missy calls the sunken place. The next morning, he assumes that the encounter was a dream until Walter reveals he was the man who ran past Chris the night before. However, he is pleased to discover that the hypnosis was a success as he no longer feels a desire to smoke. Dozens of wealthy white people arrive at the Armitages and will get together and express admiration for Chris's physique and for black figures such as Tiger Woods. Jim Hudson, an art dealer who has gone blind in his old age, takes a particular interest in Chris's photography skills instead of his race. Chris meets another black man, Logan King, who behaves strangely and is married to a much older white woman. Chris relays the information to his friend TSA officer Rod Williams. Chris tries to photograph Logan inconspicuously, but when the flash goes off, Logan becomes hysterical, shouting at Chris to get out and seeming to try to attack him. The others restrain him, and Dean later claims that Logan had an epileptic seizure. Away from the party, Chris tells Rose that they should leave. Meanwhile, the party guests hold a silent auction disguised as a game of bingo, with Chris as the prize, with Jim making the winning bid. Rod recognizes Logan as Andre Hayworth, a missing man from Brooklyn. Suspecting a conspiracy, Rod tries to tell the police, but his claims are dismissed. While Chris packs to leave, he finds photos of Rose in prior relationships with several black partners, including Walter and Georgina, contradicting her earlier claim that Chris is the first black person she has dated. He tries to leave the house, but Rose and her family lock him in. Chris attacks Jeremy, but Missy uses a trigger that she implanted during the hypnosis, knocking him out. Chris awakens strapped to a chair in the basement. In a video presentation, Rose's grandfather, Roman, explains that the family transplants people's brains into others' bodies, granting them preferred physical characteristics and a twisted form of immortality. The host's consciousness remains in the sunken place, alive but powerless. The video then connects to a feed of Jim speaking with Chris through an intercom. Jim says that although the Armitages target mainly black people, he does not care about Chris's race. He only wants his eyesight. Missy performs hypnosis, seemingly knocking Chris out. Now for the ending. You know the procedure. You have 5 seconds to stop this video. Go to the description box below. Fast forward to the time below. As I'm counting down, if you've seen the movie already, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. When Jeremy comes to fetch Chris for the surgery, it is revealed that Chris blocked the hypnosis trigger by plugging his ears with cotton stuffing pulled from the chair. Chris bludgeons Jeremy unconscious with a botch ball and heads to the operating room where Dean is about to perform the surgery, replacing Jim's body with Chris's. Chris impales Dean with the antlers of a deer mount, knocking over a candle which sets fire to the operating room when anesthetized Jim inside. Missy attacks Chris in the kitchen, but he stabs and kills her, and is then attacked again by Jeremy as he heads towards the door. He overpowers and kills Jeremy before leaving in the latter's car. On the way out, he hits Georgina, who is revealed to be possessed by Rose's grandmother, Mary Ann, and knocks her unconscious. Compelled by guilt from his mother's death, he decides to carry her into the car, but she awakens and attacks him. In the ensuing struggle, the car crashes and Georgina is killed. An armed Rose apprehends Chris with Walter, who is possessed by Roman. Chris uses the flash on his phone to neutralize Roman, allowing Walter to regain control of his body. Walter takes Rose's rifle and shoots her in the stomach before shooting himself. Chris begins to strangle Rose, but he finds himself unable to kill her. Police sirens approach and Rose cries out for help. However, the driver is revealed to be Rod, who drives away with Chris as Rose is left bleeding out on the road in the story. So, what did I think of Get Out? Well, again, after I've only seen it twice, I watched it for the first time last month on Peacock, and just now I watched it again, but on Netflix. I am going to say this is one strange film, but it is pretty shocking and what have you. I really think this story is really something and what have you. And critics liked it about this, liked the screenplay as well as Jordan Peele's direction, the acting, and social critiques. Sorry. Anyway, the film has been described as critical of post-racial America, the concept of color blindness, and neoliberalism. Excuse me, everyone. Sometimes I get tongue-tied. But anyway, I really don't want to try and get into too much of the themes and interpretations and what have you, but you'll know when you see it. Anyway, the film did pretty well. It made it well here in the US and Canada, making 176 million and 79 million overseas, as it went on to make 255 million against its production budget of just 4 million. Well, 4.5 million. Yeah. Now, a little over almost a couple months after it was released, the film became the highest grossing film domestically, directed by a black filmmaker, being out F. Gary Gray's Straight Out Compton, which unfortunately I've yet to see that. But of course, Gray reclaimed that the following year with The Fate of the Furious. Domestically, it is also the highest grossing film debut based on an original screenplay, being out even The Blair Witch Project. Now, the film currently sits certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes with 98%. At 98% saying it's funny, scary, and thought provoking, the film seamlessly weaves its trenchant social critiques into a brilliantly effective and entertaining horror comedy thrill ride. I totally do agree with that, and that means it's so good. Richard Roper said that the real star of the film is Jordan Peele, who has created a work that addresses the myriad levels of racism, pays homage to some great horror films, carves out its own creative path, has a distinctive visual style, and is flat out funny as well. Yeah, it does have a few funny bits and what have you. Let's see. Rolling Stone said it's a jolt a minute horror show laced with racial tension and stinging satirical wit. Definitely. However, there was one bad review that came out, and it was from the National Review, referring to it as a Get White movie and saying that it reduces racial politics to trite horror comedy. It's an Obama movie for Tarantino fans. And, well, one critic from the New York Observer included this on his 10 worst films of 2017. And later mentioned in an interview on CBS Sunday Morning saying, I didn't care if all the black men are turned into robots. But, of course, a writer on the website noted that there were no robots in the film. IndieWire writers the next year ranked the script as the third best American screenplay of the 21st century. Definitely. I really do agree with what they have to say. It's so incredible. It got nominated for 4 Academy Award nominations for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Original Screenplay, and Best Actor for Daniel Kaluuya. And Peele became the third person after Warren Beatty and James L. Brooks to earn the Best Picture, Director, and Screenplay nominations for a debut film, and the first African American winner for Best Original Screenplay, and fourth overall nominated after John Singleton, Spike Lee, and Suzanne DePasse. I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. If I did, I do apologize. Anyway, it also got 2 nominations at the Golden Globes for Best Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy, and Best Actor for Comedy or Musical for Kaluuya. Anyway, it also got nominations at the Screen Actors Guild Awards, the Critics' Choice Awards, and lots of others. So, yeah, proved to be a good film from what I've seen. The score from Michael Abels was pretty good too, and I liked it. Now, as for our cast, playing Chris is Daniel Kaluuya, who, of course, if I'm not mistaken, who after this would appear in Black Panther. He had recently appeared in Kick Ass 2 a few years before this. Let's see, and after this, he'd go on to appear in films like Judas and the Black Messiah, Honk for Jesus, Save Your Soul, as well as Peele's recent hit, Nope. Both were released last year. Now, next playing Rose is Allison Williams, who earlier this year I saw her in playing in Megan. As, of course, I forgot to mention, this film was produced by Blumhouse, who, of course, produced Megan. And, of course, Allison Williams played Gemma in Megan. Bradley Whitford played Dean. I think I've heard it. Of course, most of you know him best from TV's The West Wing as Josh Lyman. He was pretty good. Caleb Landry Jones played Jeremy. He was pretty good. He had appeared in films like, he was well known for his work in 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Stephen Root, who I remember him from doing voice acting work and appearing in films, like um, Dodgeball, True Underdog Story. He played Jim Hudson. He was pretty good. LaKeith Stanfield played Andre Hayward and Logan King. Catherine Keener, who I've seen in numerous films, played Missy. And Lil Rel Howery, who I recently saw him in the Vacation Friends films. He played Rod Williams. Keegan Michael Key made an appearance as an NCAA prospect. Of course, he and Peele had worked together before. So anyway, I thought he did a pretty good job. Also, Peele had voiced the sounds made by the wounded deer and narrates a UNCF commercial in this as well. So the cast was pretty good too. So overall, I think Get Out was a good film. It was worth watching. I agree with the critics. The screenplay was good. The directing from Jordan Peele was good. The acting was good, and so was the social critiques. I don't care how some people were on this and what have you, but it didn't bother me as much as I thought it would be. At first, I just didn't feel like this was going to be a good film, but after a lot of people had talked about this film over these last few years, I thought maybe I'd check it out, and I did, as I've already said last month. So anyway, Get Out, it's real good, but would I recommend the film? I would say hell yeah, definitely go for it. Get Out, definitely check it out. It's just so good. Of course, after this, he, well, um, Monkey Paw Productions, which that's Peele's company, will go on to give us some other films, including Us, which I'll be reviewing later on, as well as the Candyman reboot and Nope. So, and so that's about it. What did you think of Get Out? Let me know in the comments section below. If you like the video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Join me next time when I bring to you a review of The Witch. That's right, I'm going to be tackling an A24 film, and it's going to be The Witch. So, I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, check out my reviews for some of these other films. In the upper left-hand corner is my spoiler-free review of Jordan Peele's recent hit, Nope. The upper right-hand corner is my spoiler-free review of one of my favorite films this year so far, and that would be Megan. Or go to the bottom left-hand corner and see my spoiler-free review of a recent hit from A24 last year, and that was Buys, Buys, Buys. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.